welcome to College Town Talk. I'm Shan Stout.
And I'm Jonathan Frank.
Jonathan, are you in the market for a new job?
No, I like my job. Why? What have you heard? What's happening? I'm not going down without a fight, Shan. I've got bills to pay.
Well, I just mean it's our first podcast taping of 2026, and I hadn't seen you in a while, so I just thought I'd check on you. Because our guest today is a true workforce development leader, not just in the Upper Cumberland, but across the state of Tennessee. And today, of course, we're talking to Tyler Asher, a 2014 Tech graduate and current master's student who serves as Assistant Commissioner of the Tennessee Department of Labor and Workforce Development. That is a long title. Tyler is also a 2023 Cookeville Lifestyle Magazine Mover and Shaker honoree and a member of the Tennessee Tech Alumni Board and Cookeville Cityscape Board, so he's just not busy at all. Tyler and his wife, Candace, are the proud parents of 3 children. And get this, Jonathan, he also, in his spare time, woodworks.
Well, that's great because I could really use
Jonathan, what did we say about asking our guests for free services?
I was just going to see if I could get a discounted cutting board.
Tyler, welcome to College Town Talk.
Thanks for having me, Shan and Jonathan. This is it's a great opportunity to share what I love to get to do and talk about all the exciting things that I have going on in my life and career, professionally and personally. So I'm excited to be here and share with you guys and let people know what Tyler Asher does.
Well, I'm so glad that this is our first interview kicking off the new year. I have so much that I want to ask you about today. But let's start with belated congratulations on your recent promotion with the Tennessee Department of Labor and Workforce Development. This was a really big deal, and I was really excited when I first heard of it. You joined the agency as Business and Workforce Director in 2024, and last fall you were promoted to become Assistant Commissioner for the entire department.
Absolutely. So I'm the Assistant Commissioner over the Business Service and Workforce Programs Division, which is a newly created division back in the fall. They kind of noticed the department said, hey, if we're going to be business oriented and business focused, we got to really create a division and really put a focus on it from the whole state level. And so created the division and was super blessed that got promoted into this position from Commissioner Thomas in fall of 2025. And we have had a lot of fun. Some days I feel like I live on either Interstate 40 or 24 or 65. So a lot of time on the road, but I absolutely enjoy it. We have a wonderful team. We have people who are passionate about making sure that Tennessee has a skilled workforce and they have a safe place to go to work. So it's a great honor to be able to represent that team and do great big things at the agency.
And I just want to say, Commissioner Thomas met her on
awesome
multiple
yes.
occasions. Such a smart cookie.
Yes.
I mean, she knows her stuff and obviously has great taste in her staff.
That or she was just at a low point that day, and she was like, "I'm going to take
Blood
this
sugar
guy."
dropped
Yeah,
and just like
I don't know what
pick
she was
anybody.
thinking. Absolutely, but it's an honor to work for her.
Well, and you bring a lot of experience to this role, too, because even before you joined the Tennessee Department of Labor, you were a leader in serving our local workforce and helping connect job seekers to businesses and organizations that need their talents right here in the Upper Cumberland. In fact, you served for 4 years as the Small Business Development Center Director at the Upper Cumberland Development District, including during the height of COVID-19. And so I can only imagine what a difficult time for small businesses and for workers here in our region. There's probably a lot on your shoulders then. But in that capacity, I understand that you were able to engage with the Tennessee Tech Center for Rural Innovation, our Rural Reimagined Grand Challenge, of course, led by Dr. Michael Akins, which is all about expanding opportunity and economic growth in our state's rural and underserved counties. So what can you tell us about that time in your career? And I'm curious how you've seen Tennessee Tech support workforce development right here in our region.
Absolutely. So that was definitely, it seems like that was forever ago, especially when you talk about COVID and all the things that small businesses went through back in the first part of 2020. I still get a little PTSD when people talk about those PPP loans and how often we were doing those, and that you would submit an application and then something else would change, and it was just like a continual, learning process. And so something new no one had ever experienced before. So it was a great opportunity. It was a lot of learning. Made a lot of great connections. Got to help a ton of businesses through the whole Upper Cumberland, which was phenomenal because who doesn't love to help the place that you live and support? And so also caveat, I don't know why every title I've had, you feel like you need an 18-wheeler to drag that title along.
It's true.
I don't know. It's not like I look for it.
Your business card must be oversized just to handle.
It's ridiculous. But those opportunities have really shaped kind of who I am and all the things that I've been able to do and fortunate to do across my time and travel across the country. And, we developed this internship program that's still there today that really allows students from Tennessee Tech to get real world experience working in multiple businesses, multiple facets, to use those talents to be able to put that on a resume, go to an employer and say, I've done these things. This is how I am workforce ready, because I had this great experience. I've not just been in a classroom, but I've actually worked in multiple businesses, who each business, as we know, is all individual and unique, whether they're in a growth cycle, they're kind of in an expansion cycle. It just depends on where the business is. Those students can say, I've worked in these facets of business, from small, medium to large business, and just really gets those students into the workforce, and they've got experience, because we all know that employers want experience. So just making sure that they have the opportunity to have those experiences. Working alongside with Dr. Michael Akins, he and I have been fortunate to travel across the country to meet and do a lot of great things my time at the SBDC. So a lot of great opportunities, and I love working for the place that instilled a lot of things in me. I always joke with President Oldham that I was on the 10-year track, that Tennessee Tech no longer offers the 10-year track to get your 4-year degree, just because I'm honest, I made the dean's list you're not supposed to make a couple of times. But I say that, and I tell my kids that, like, hey, I did that because I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't take it serious, but now that I went back and graduated with my undergrad in 2014, I took it really serious. I was in a position where it helps me grow and expand. I had a family. Like, you didn't really have an excuse. Like, you had to get it done. And so I'm just grateful that I can work alongside a university, serve on the board of directors for the Alumni Association, and just give back to a university who allows me to do and represent. And I represent tech in a lot of different ways. When I'm working with companies and I'm like, hey, they're like, we need engineers. I'm like, oh, I got that. That's not a problem. Come on down. Like, well, let me roll out the red carpet for you at the best engineering school, I say, in the country. People would probably argue, but I'm always proud to be representing tech, in not only professionally, but personally. And it's just a great opportunity that a lot of these careers have had. They kind of intertwine and intermesh. That's probably a long answer, but I'm passionate about being able to work with tech and do those things.
Well, and I appreciate all that you're contributing. And, my son was part of and is part of the apprenticeship program that was happening. That has been a great opportunity for him. You talk about being workforce ready, but to be able to earn a living while you're learning. And it has been an outstanding opportunity for him and for many others.
Absolutely.
And so I'm grateful. But I want to talk about your temperament for a minute, because you have a great temperament for this job. And for anyone that works in public service, and, I'm a county employee, and we deal with the public a lot.
Yes.
Having a person with the right temperament to do a job is sometimes just as important of their background, training, education, all of that. Because I think that, you have elevated through your role, not just because you're great at your job, but you have the temperament to handle your job and do it well. You're wonderful with that. And you're a really busy guy, multidimensional. And so let's talk about, you still find ways to give back regardless of how busy and strenuous your job is. You are Tennessee Tech Alumni Board. You're doing that. And then let's hear back on the Cityscape Board side of things. Baron Kefauver, a good friend of mine.
Bless her heart.
Yeah, she was on the show recently, and she's amazing. But being on that board, that is a working board.
Very much so. And I enjoy that. I got the opportunity to be on that board when I was over at the Small Business Development Center. And so it's a great board. I really enjoy being a part of that board. There's great people on that board. There's a lot of great things happening at Cityscape. We're super blessed that we have Farron in that role. She's done an amazing job just really elevating what Cityscape does and the mission behind Cityscape and all the great things it does to the downtown and just the revitalization, the flower pots.
Oh,
Who
you can
knew
see
who
her
knew trash
hard
cans
work.
cost that much? I'm just saying that was eye opening for me.
True.
And so just being a part of that, getting to work with those businesses, do things to your city. The sign is, oh man, if you get a chance, go by Cityscape. They have the old switchboard is in the office that someone created the switchboard to turn on the neon. It's really amazing. And it's huge. I mean, it's the size of a computer
our
monitor.
listeners can't see my face right now,
But
but
it's
I'm making a
mind-blowing.
face. It is.
Yes, and just all the things that are happening with the sign. People have no idea how much goes into that sign. It's the second oldest neon sign in the state of Tennessee.
And
It's
a very big historical
Yes.
landmark. And
So-
from tourism, that
so
brings
side
visitors.
note, talking about historical parts. So my grandma used to talk about when she was 16, 17, they used to drive over on Saturday night and watch the sign be lit up. It was that big of a
Oh, my
deal
goodness.
in that age, in that era. So for me, it's really cool to be a part of it and to just contribute to that board. We have some great events that we do. Taste of the Town is my favorite. I just enjoy
That's
that.
a great
It's a
event.
great event to be at. So it's just great to serve on that board and give back.
Well, we appreciate you.
Well, and I've talked on this program before about moving back to Cookeville 3 years ago, and the growth and the vibrancy of the downtown was I think a big part of what kind of drew me back. And so I so appreciate everything that Cityscape and you as an extension of that, being on the board, are doing. I want to go back just because we're going to have an extra minute. The Tennessee Tech Alumni Board, you talked a little bit about your reasons for serving there. It's a great group of people. Susan Luna was one of our first guests on this podcast. So many people I respect and admire. I mean, just the diversity of. We've got somebody that worked in the George W. Bush White House on the alumni board, Penny Judd. Dr. Nancy Hamilton works at Roane State. You're in the company of some really influential alums. Take us kind of behind the scenes of that, your service on that board, what it means to you, and the people that you get to do it with.
Absolutely. Going back to things that always bleed over is Dr. Hamilton and I work both on the alumni board as we work on that and do events and making sure we have a really strong alumni network. But we also get to work together professionally with all the stuff she does at the Roane State, all of the things that are happening in the nuclear field, as that's a very fast and up and coming emerging sector that we're looking at and making sure that we have the workforce. So her and I get to work both as an alumni, but also in professionally. So that part is where I really enjoy working with that board. There's a lot of bleed over, both personal and professional. And so it's nice to be able to have those connections with people to really get to spotlight the university, which my wife and I both dearly love. My mother works there. My wife's a 2-time graduate. So for us, just any way that we can always give back to tech is something that we love doing. Being a part of that board, hearing those award winners when we do those our Evening of Excellence is awesome, just to hear how far, because I'm a hometown kid. I've lived here my whole life. It was always one of those things where people are like, oh, you just go to tech, and you're like, oh, really? Just go. But the older I've gotten, the more I appreciate all the things that Tennessee Tech has done. When you go to a place and you're talking to someone of a company that's coming to look to move to Tennessee or out of state, and you're like, oh, have you heard of Tennessee Tech? You're like, oh yes, let me tell you, we love it. It's a great university. Tech is one of those places where at first you were like, oh, it's just tech. Now you're like, I'm proud of it. Where we have kids who are in high school, in middle school, oh, you need to go to tech. You want to go where? No, we're not going there. It's almost like you're like, oh, you just need to go to tech. Trust me. So for me, at first it was always like, oh, it's just down the road. But the more I've gotten in my professional career, being able to elevate Tennessee Tech, being on the board, and I leverage and when I'm in meetings with people, they're like, oh, we need to meet so-and-so. I'm like, I'm texting Susan in a meeting. I'm like, hey, I need to meet so-and-so in this department. I got a company that needs something. Can you do that? And then a few minutes later, I get an email from Susan introducing me to somebody in a department. And
that is the secret sauce.
And that
I've seen that happen with you in real time.
And I think that is something that is a great value asset for me being on the board and being able to serve it in that capacity, is of making sure that tech is brought into a lot of those conversations.
Well, we do hear from local students, people that are, maybe they're Putnam County natives, kind of like what you're describing, where they grew up with tech kind of always being in their backyard, and they're wondering, can I go to tech and have and feel a little bit of separation still from home and independence. And our message is always, yes, you can. The campus is really its own place, and you can grow up in Cookeville and come to Tech and still have a really rich student experience. And some of those students may not also know just the ways that Tech has really kind of leveled up in recent years. Now we're a nationally ranked institution. We've got all these additions to campus.
Right.
That
gonna have a tower soon.
Right.
I mean.
So
parking garage. I mean, I'm just saying that was always an issue when I was there.
Well, and you're back there now because one thing you and I have in common was deciding to go back to Tennessee Tech and continue our education years after getting our undergraduate degrees. So you are pursuing a Master of Professional Studies with a concentration in Strategic Leadership from our College of Emerging and Integrative Studies. So congratulations on that.
So side note, I did kind of take this semester off. Like I was like, I'm at the point where I'm like, all right, there's a lot going on. Something needs to I need something to take a back step.
Hey,
so
everybody's on their own.
Absolutely.
You got to work at your own pace on that. But I want to ask you, because I know for me it was a little daunting to be a student again. I think just gotten to the point where I was no longer having that recurring dream that it was the final exam for a class and I'd forgotten to show up the entire semester. But what made you decide, now amid so many other projects and demands on your schedule to go back to school?
Well, first of all, Dr. Tennant, long story short, was my swim coach when I was in high school. So he and I have always had a great connection. And it's something I'd always first you could ask some professors I had. I was like, I'm not going to get my master's. I'm done with school. I don't care if I ever set foot in here again. And then as I've gotten in different professional settings, I'm like, man, I would really like to have my master's. I think it might open up a few more doors.
Different in adulthood, right?
Absolutely. And also as a benefit of being a state employee. There's this little thing that allows you to take some classes at a very small, reduced cost. And so that was just something my wife and I talked about. And she kind of looked at me weird. She's like, it'll probably help you. She's like, I don't know where you're going to add it onto your plate, but I'm going to tell you.
So many letters.
She's like, you know what? She was like, go for it. She's like, it'll probably help you and get you, to wherever it is you want to be. And I said, great. I have no idea where I'm going to be, but. It was the opportunity to go back. And so Dr. Tennant and I actually had a conversation at an event and we were talking and he said, just go back. He said, we'll help tailor this to what's going to be good for your professional career and helping you in strategic leadership and making sure this can align and put you in a better position. So that's kind of how we got started in working on this. So my plan is to go back probably at the first of probably this fall and work on finishing that up. But I did at some point I was like, all right, I got to take a break. Like there comes a point where you're almost you don't want to max yourself out.
Capacity.
But I was getting a little up there, and so I said, all right, I'm just going to step back from a couple other things. So that's kind of where we're at. But no, I'm excited. I want to finish it, and so I can be a 2-time graduate just like my wife.
That's a great competition. I know she's winning, but that's okay.
No, because she would say I did mine in 3 semesters, and I did it while working full time.
Well, you're married to Wonder Woman. What can you say?
That's right.
Now, Tyler, we joked earlier in the intro about your side hustle and that you do woodworking, and I know this personally because you've made everything from custom coffee tables, kitchen tables, doors, fireplace mantles, but you made the custom boardroom table in our visitor shop downtown.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yes,
yeah.
I know.
It's
many moons ago.
Walnut slabs. Yeah,
gorgeous, and this is not a small talent that you have. I mean, it's gorgeous work. It is time consuming. It is one of a kind pieces. How did that happen?
Oh man, I have always enjoyed working with my hands, but I always tell people ask like, how did you get into woodworking? So we'll go the short story long. But for a number of years, my dad's dad, my grandpa, was a lumber grader, and so I had kind of been around. I'd always heard them talk about lumber, and so I'd always kind of had an interest in it. And then when Candace and I got married, we went to look at a dining room table because we needed a bigger table, and we saw price tags, and I was sticker shock, and that was in 2011. So you can only imagine now.
The table? Does this have chairs?
Yeah. Does this like include like meals weekly? I mean, and so my wife, she goes, let me introduce you to this website I found, and it's an app, and it was called Pinterest. And so I'd done a couple little things around the house, and she was like, I think you could build something like this. And so we got on Pinterest. She introduced it to me, and so I started playing around, and there was these farmhouse plans, and so that was back in 2000, end of 2011, start 2012, and so my grandpa went and helped me pick out lumber, and we went to a sawmill, picked it out, and I got these plans, and I built it. And what does every proud person do in 2012 when they build something? They post it on Facebook. And what happens? Someone goes, well, I want one.
I want a table just like that.
That's exactly what happened. And so I built one and made some extra money. And the next thing I know, my wife, she kind of looked at me and she goes, I think you might have something. I said, I do too. And that was back in 2012. And I'll be honest to you, I could not tell you what all I have built now, because it's been a huge blessing. I've got tables in Boston, Massachusetts, Texas, Michigan, Alabama, North Carolina, South Carolina, Kentucky, Mississippi. Yeah. So, I mean, pretty much all the places that surround us, I've shipped to, I've done projects for. It's been a huge blessing. I do it in the garage. I love it. It's my escape. So, my kids and my wife, everyone comes out and hangs out in the garage. Our garage door is a little sawdusty, but we just kind of roll with it. But it's just something that I'm passionate about. I love being creative, to be able to design. It's very much how I step away from my professional career. It allows me to think, as a business owner, how could we do things? How would we look at it from a different lens? And so just being able to be creative and take something that is a rough piece of lumber and turn it into something that people literally fight over and put in their wheels has truly been an honor. So I enjoy that part.
I can spot your work anywhere. And I mean, I'll tell somebody, I bet you $20 that's Tyler Asher's. And sure enough, we'll ask somebody till we get to the bottom of it. But that shows your artistry. This is you're not just building furniture. You have a particular flair, and it shows.
Right.
That passion comes through in your work. I love what you do.
Well, I am humbled by that story, Shan, because I feel really proud of myself when I change a light bulb, and Tyler's over here building tables.
Your work is a little harder to spot, Jonathan, but it's there. It's there.
It'd be the wobbly one that, and
they make feet levers for that. You can put it on the bottom or keep it.
Well, in just the very short time we have left, Tyler, you spoke of this a little bit earlier, but we always end each interview with the same question. What is one way that Tennessee Tech has impacted your life?
Oh, gosh. Shan just told me how to give a short answer. That's going to be tough. I think it's for me it's a place that I'm proud to be able to represent both professionally and personally. It's something that my wife and I, we've taken kid to events, and it's been nice to be alumni, to be able to be proud to represent Tech when I'm in meetings with companies, and to be able to say, like, this place can drastically change your business. This place can change your life. I don't think people realize what Tennessee Tech can do to your life if you will be fully invested, give it the opportunity. It's totally changed our life and the opportunities that it's afforded me. And that's probably a long answer, but...
Well, it's a great answer, and you are a great ambassador for Tennessee Tech. So, Tyler, thank you so much for being our guest today on College Town Talk.
Thanks for having me.
And for our listeners, if you're enjoying our show and hearing from incredible Tennessee Tech alumni like Tyler Asher, would you do us a favor and leave a 5-star review on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get this podcast? It all helps to spread the word about the great things happening right here in Cookeville.
We'll meet you back here again next week for more conversations with the people who make Cookeville, Tennessee's college town. College Town Talk is presented by Tennessee Tech University in partnership with the Cookeville-Putnam County Visitors Bureau. Your hosts are Jonathan Frank and Shan Stout, and original music is performed by Andrew Buckner. Visit us online at tntech.edu/collegetowntalk.